What's up YouTube? Welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the game room. Today I'm going to do a bit of a different video. I'm going to do a video about some of my favourite magic deck. I'm going to feature my Sharum deck. It's a commander deck. I've been playing Commander since 2010 and I'm going to show you one of my favourite decks. Before we get started, I'm also just like to show you some of the technology I've got. I'm just started trying to use my ring light. So this ring light is used for basically showing off the various lighting. You can change the mode by pressing this switch, and it goes between 3 different settings used depending on what lighting you require. There's also a phone mount on the top, but I didn't find it practical for using, so I just used the light, and it goes through between that and blue. So I think a neutral setting probably works the best, but you might find it better. Anyway, before we get started, so I'd like to say the best deck, the sleeves I've found from my using my the commander for Magic. I use these, which are Dragon Shield. So I use any of the original ones. So these are the blue ones. I generally find these are the best sleeves to use. I double sleeve all my decks. So I mean, these what I use. I try and avoid any sleeves with pattern backs because they generally mark and don't last very well. And I try and avoid anything with a shiny surface, or also thing I prefer, so the matte ones I would recommend. I also don't just singly sleeve, so I use these as well. These are also from Dragon Shield. I'm not sponsored by them, but if you want to sponsor me and you're listening, you can put it in the thing. Anyway, so these are Dragon Shields. These are inner sleeves. They used to so you sleeve them inside the regular sleeves, and they're used to prevent your cards getting thing. These ones are new ones I've found, and these are make them sleeved on all the corners, so there's literally no barrier of entry. They're reseals and they're sleeved on all 4 corners. And now we'll start with the thing. So this is my Sharum deck. Before we get started, I'm going to say this. I list all my decks on Moxfield. I'm trying to input them at the moment. So this was in my first 3 decks I started, and I've got 41 now I'm up to. So this is my most expensive deck. It's mainly, most of it is cosmetic. They say it's about £4,000 currently, and I'm trying to foil it out completely. So I'll just go through it and show you the various individual cards and some various bits of it. So we start out with, I apologise for the glare, but a lot of the cards are foil, so they give off of glare on the light. So this is the commander, this is Sharum. It's basically a blue and a white and a black for a 5/5 artifact flyer. When it enters the battlefield, it gets a artifact back from your graveyard to play. Now it's probably been usurped by various things such as Breya and various others, but it's still a good commander. It's a 5/5 of worse, and it combos with a lot of other pieces in the deck. So we will start with section 1 of the deck is the fast artifact mana. We have Sol Ring. This is an altered one. I got it. I like it. It's a ubiquitous commander card. Should it be legal? Maybe. More fast mana. So this is a mana vault. This is also an altered one. I didn't do it myself. I know people that do alter them, and it's nice. It's 3 mana. Basically, it doesn't do untap step unless you pay 4, but not really a drawback. Basalt Monolith. This is one from the commander decks. This one goes infinite with Rings of Bright Hearth and generates infinite coloured mana. Yep. See, Dark Steel Ingot. So this is an arena promo. So it's basically an indestructible mana rock which you need, and also since most of these rocks don't generally produce coloured mana, it also produces coloured mana. This is an arena promo. This is Fran Dynamo. This is from the FTV at 20. It's also all in foil. Yep. This is one of the most expensive mana rocks in the thing. It's Grim Monolith. And if this was foil, it would be like a £5,000 card. It's not foil, and it would probably be the last card I would get to foil out the deck. But that's the Grim Monolith. Mox Opal, I opened it in one of the Horizon sets. Modern Masters, sorry, and it's also foil. Rings of Bright Half, that's the original printing from Lorwyn. Goes infinite with the Basalt Monolith. Mindslaver, this is, I like anyone that's got watermarks on the foils. So this is the one from the reprint from Scars of Mirrodin. It's also quite good with the generals, so you can keep retaking people's turns. Staff of Domination, this is the foil reprint. This is great when you have infinite mana. You can draw your deck and find your win condition of choice. Darksteel Forge, all the artifacts need protection. This is protects all your artifacts. Then we go on to some Phyrexian Metamorph. This is a coloured one. So this is quite versatile. This can be a clone of your best artifact, or it can copy other bits. It's also slightly more flexible than there was an older card that did this before, but this one you can pay live for as well. It combos with Sharum and the it goes infinite. You make 2 copies of Sharum, and it sets up a great recursion loop where you keep getting a Sharum back to play, and the Sharum sees the other one, this go into the graveyard and gets another one, and then you can cast Bitter Ordeal with Gravestorm, and you win the game. You remove all their deck from the game. Now we have some more artifacts. So we got the last in the artifact section. We've got Scalglass. So this is an artifact based Wrath. You can blow up all permanents except for artifacts and lands. You can only play it in your upkeep, but like it's normally quite one-sided. So now we go on to Planeswalkers. So we've got, so this is a Khan from Ultimate Masters. This is the full art one. It's also full. He's a cool card. I've got practically all the Khans in the deck, and this is the big boy, or the modern playable one. Let me go on to go through the other Khan first. So this is the other Khan. He's also this one's a masterpiece one. He also digs for artifacts. Now we're on to Tezzerets. So this is a versatile one. It basically makes Thopters, draws cards. Normally 2, because you generally have 3 or more things. And if you get to the planar bridge at the end, you'd probably just win. So this is probably the best one. It digs for the top 5 cards of your library. It makes things into 5/5 artifacts, and then it drains people for target person for life and gains you where X is twice the amount of artifacts. Tez the Seeker untaps mana, gives you more mana. Search for artifacts and March of the Machines at the end. The more recent one, Tez the Master of the Bridge. This one's only available in foil, and it was the buy box promo. It also drains and reduces cost of creatures and planeswalker spells. Gives them affinity effectively. This is one of my favourite cards. So this is alternate artwork, Ugin the Spirit Dragon. This is the one from the Ugin's Fate. I've got a complete set of Ugin's Fate. I bought it on the day from someone. I paid like 80 for it, and another regular Ugin. I think it's worth over 100 and something now on just the one. So we'll move over to the removal set. We've got Path to Exile, which is very versatile. It's probably so I like this artwork. It's Rebecca Guy, and there's nothing to say about it. It's probably the second best white removal spell. You'll see the best one in a minute. And it's Swords to Plowshares. It's also the FTV one. I prefer the original one with the I'd say Jesus-esque artwork on it, where the other guy on. But since that one's expensive, I've got this one at the moment. I might get the other one at some point. And now we move on to mass removal. So we've got the classics. These are the textless things. Back in the days, they used to do these. Now they don't do textless cards. I mean, this one's fairly straightforward what it does, but it's with stuff like cryptic command, etc. They probably shouldn't have done it as a textless card. Anyway, we've got Day of Judgment, Austere Command. This one's from one of the iconic masters. Very versatile, does lots of different things. Yep, so Soul Scour, so this is basically destroy all non-artifact permanents. This include lands. This is can be a one-sided thing, especially if you have a thing that makes all your stuff indestructible. It blows up lands as well, bear in mind. You might not want to play this depending on your play group. Okay. So we've got the other Wrath, so we've got these are more things. So this is Damnation, this is the black one. We've got End Hostilities. This is a very flexible one. This destroys all creatures and the permanents. So if you have playing against lots of equipment or decks or enchantment-based decks, which there are quite a lot of at the moment, this is a nice flexible one. I like any of the foil cards that have like a pattern, the light coming out, because they look really good in foil. Yep, that's that one. So this is In Garruk's Wake. So this is another Wrath. This one also gets rid of planeswalkers. So it's another way to get rid of things. And this one is one-sided, but that's what it costs 9 mana as opposed to the other ones that cost normally around 4 mana. Supreme Verdict. So this one is another Wrath. Can't be countered. And it destroys all creatures. So that's good if you're facing a control-based meta that has lots of counters. You've got All Is Dust. So this is the Eldrazi Wrath, and it makes all players sacrifice all coloured permanents. So it's also good against getting rid of various other things or getting rid of indestructible creatures. Your classic Wrath. Enough said. Rout. So this is one of the things. So this is a Wrath of God at instant speed, and basically you have to pay 7 mana for it, but you can play it at any point. It's cheap now as well. This foil one wasn't much. Now we move on to another section, which is the tutor section. So this is Demonic Tutor. This is the original tutor. So this is the one from the Strixhaven Mystical Archive. I've nearly got a set of Strixhaven Mystical Archive. I'm missing 3 cards. This is one I have in foil, and I wanted another tutor, so I'd got a foil one. Vampiric Tutor. This is the DCI promo. This is relatively expensive. I got it. It was 30. It's worth probably a couple of hundred now. Enlightened Tutor, that was also a promo. They didn't do foils at 6th edition, so this one was a promo, and it's like they started foils at 7th, so this one's also in the couple of £100 category. So that's Bitter Ordeal, that's the combo piece. This goes combines with the general Shroom and Phyrexian Metamorph, and it sets up a loop where your Shroom and the Metamorph keep on going in and out of play, and it sets up a load of cards going to the grave, which is infinite, and then you play this and you basically exile their library because you have Gravestorm. It's the only card printed with Gravestorm. There's some other cards that are like this that only have one card with the mechanic on it. This is one of them. It took me ages to find it in full, and thanks to Magic Madhouse, I managed to get one earlier in the year. Now we have Recursion. So this is Open the Vaults. This is symmetrical, but like it will generally be one-sided. If you don't think it's going to win you the game, don't play it. It returns all artifacts and enchantments to play from all graveyards under their owner's control, but generally it's one-sided enough for you to play. Then we got the Cyclonic Rift. Yeah, should this card be legal? We're not sure at the moment, but like I invested in them back when they were cheap. I mean, I got my foil ones for not a lot. I mean, like the regular ones. And so when iconic in Commander is when you have like 7 mana open, including a blue and what they have. And normally it's this. And these ones are foil. I've got quite a few. and I'm happy to have them, and they didn't cost me much when I got them. This was one of the more surprising cards when I was looking up the thing. On my decks are available on Moxfield. I'll link them in the description. So this is Phyrexian Arena. It's one of my favourite enchantments. So it's one of black and a black for an enchantment. It's that draws you an extra card in your upkeep, and you lose 1 life and draw an extra card. So this in foil, this is the original printing, bear in mind. So this is from Apocalypse, which was back near when I started. So this card is around the $400, and I didn't pay much for it at the time. I've had it for ages, and I've always liked the card anyway. So now we move on to the creatures. So we've got various... These are the colourless ones, the ubiquitous. So we've got the Eldrazi Titans. We've got the main ones. So we've got Kozilek anyway. The Butcher. Got Ulamog. Very versatile. You'll see there's tutors for them in a minute. You can get them out relatively quickly. They're not that hard to get to. And the most recent one, the Ceaseless Hunger. He's pretty good. Then we've got the non-artifact based creatures. We've got these are just the value ones. So this is Consecrated Sphinx. This is a foil. I'm normally happy if this makes about half a circuit of the table and it draws me like some cards. If it lives to my turn, you're probably winning. So it says save a kill spell for me. And then we've got the Praetor. We've got Elish Norn. He's just really good. He gets all your makes all your creatures bigger. It can shut people's commanders out if they're very small. They're like two mana commanders. Then it shuts them dead. Certain token-based strategies aren't that keen on it. So then we've got Avacyn. We've got it's an FTV one. It just protects all your permanents. For indestructible. You can combine it with like a Soul Scour or something, and you'll get to keep all your permanents, and your opponents won't have very many left. We've got Muzio. He's like a tutor for artifacts. He looks at the top cards of the library, where X is the highest CMC of artifacts you control, and then puts an artifact into play, and then the rest are shuffled. So we've got one of the newer base ones. So he may be better as a commander now at Urza. He's also running a mock in most formats. He's gone up quite a lot since I've made this deck. Yeah, he makes a X construct, and then he basically means your non-mana based things can tap for blue mana, and 5 mana shuffle your library, and it's like Mind's Desire for 1. Then we've got more various things. So we've got the tutor that says Trinket Mage. He generally gets Soul Ring, but he can get you other stuff as well. Treasure Mage. This is like a jumbo Trinket Mage. It searches for X CMC of 6 or greater. Has to be artifact, but that's most of them. So we've got Khan, the original. Wormcore Engine. So this is the Masterpiece one. I've always liked the card. You see it in anything nowadays. It's mainly played in Tron in Modern, but other than that, it's a good card. It's basically quite hard to deal with. It basically splits when it dies. It goes from being a 6/6 Death Touch and Lifelink, and splits into 2 3/3s. And you can reoccur it if it dies. We've got Soul of New Phyrexia. So this also is another 6/6. It protects your permanents. And also it can protect your permanents from the graveyard by paying 5 and exile it to give your things indestructible. We've got... So this is a lot cheaper than Thing. This is a list copy I picked up. So this is this is Send Triplets. It protects you from on your upkeep from various counter-based strategies. And it's a lot cheaper than it used to be. So now we have the more artifacts. So we go on to Sphinx of the Steel Wind. So it's basically like an Acroma of some sorts. It has most of the various keywords on it, nearly all of them. Flying, First Strike, Vigilance, Lifelink, Protection from Red and Green. It's basically an Acroma on steroids. Walking Ballista. This is from the Secret Lair. I got it as a single though. So this is good when you have infinite mana, and even as a X value thing into small kill off loads of small things, it's good. Blightsteel Colossus, this one shots the opponent. This is the one from Double Masters. Enough said. Swarm Adjudicator. It's quite versatile. It blows up creatures or enchantments. If you have enough mana, you can untap it and do it again. Don't have a foil one. I'm looking for one. Probably not even that expensive. It's also a knight as well, which I didn't notice. I have a knight deck as well. Duplicant. So this is a versatile card. So it basically removes removes things from the game. It makes it into copy, but it's colourless, so it's quite easy to cast. And we've got Inkwell Leviathan. It's versatile. It's Island, Trample, Walk, Trample and Shroud on a 7/11 body. We've got Memnock. So this basically makes things into artifacts and then steals them. This is the original printing in foil. I have the FTV one in my wizard deck as well. We've got Magister Sphinx. So this one makes someone's life total 10. Generally used on your opponent, but you can do it on yourself. It's reoccurable with Sharum. We've got Steel Hellkite. This is the set foil. This was also available as a promo, but I think this one's better. It basically is like a kind of like a Pernicious Deed, but they have to be dealt combat damage by the Hellkite, and it's fire breathing. Last creature in the deck, Platinum Angel. Protection. Then we go through the lands. They're 36 in here, the same as normal. They're split into various things, so I'll go through the various cycles. So these are basically the utility lands of some sorts. So we've got Urborg. Each land is a Swamping Edition. We've got Ancient Tomb. This is the FTV one. So it's it adds 2 mana, but a cost of 2 life. Not normally relevant. This is Ivugin, so this reduces the cost of your Eldrazi. You can also search your library for colourless creatures. So there's quite a lot of other creatures you can get. So you can get Platinum Angel, you can get Duplicant, you can get Wormcore Engine, amongst other things. So it's quite versatile. Doesn't tap for mana, unfortunately. But this card is not legal in Modern. It would be worth more if it was. But I was happy I opened it directly out of the packet. So now we've got another tutor on a land. So this one gains you life at the beginning of your upkeep if you control 3 or more artifacts. It does tap for mana. It's colourless only. And 4 mana, sacrifice it. Search your library for an artifact, reveal it, and put it into your hand. You can only use it if you have 3 or more artifacts, but not difficult. We've got Academy Runes. So this is recursion. This puts an artifact from your graveyard on top of your library. It's good if someone tries and gets rid of one of your artifacts from the graveyard, and you've got protection to put it back on top of your library. So now we go to the fetch lands. I've mainly used original ones. I prefer the artwork. So we've got Flooded Strand, original printing. You can use the new one if you've got it. It's slightly cheaper. Marsh Flats. This is the newer one. Polluted Delta, original. Then I've got the Buddy Lands. I've got to try and get the matching promo ones. So these are the excellent ones. They all come with stamps on. So this is the Drowned Catacombs from that. It's basically a dual land that comes into play untapped as long as you control one of the allied lands. So this, in case, is an island or a swamp for blue or black. Then we've got Glacial Fortress. That's the same thing for blue and white. Then I've got Temples. I'm not sure if I'd play these if I had a full set of original jewels, but for now they're okay. They dig you to your combo. They come into play tap those, and I try and avoid as many tap lands as you can unless they've got a significant thing, but I think the Scribe 1 is generally worth it. Temple of Silence. This one isn't foil. I think I've got one somewhere. I'll have to have a look. And the full set. So that's Temple of Deceit. This one's foil. Then I've got cycle land, so I've got this is the fetid pools. I've got a so this one, so that's the last of the cycle lands of farmland. Then I've got pain lands, so these are the ones. So this is an Italian one, this one, but it's foil. It's from 9th. I've got a Caves of Kolos. That one's quite expensive as well. That's in the hundreds. That's the original printing of it in Blackboard from Apocalypse. That's the original Adikar Waste from Ice Age. They didn't have foils when it was printed. So these are the shock lands, the dual coloured lands. If you have original jewels, you can use the original jewels. I don't have the requisite ones. So that's Hallowed Fountain, blue-white. Watery Grave, blue-black. Godless Shrine, black-white. Then we've got some tri-lands. So this is Arcane Sanctum, so this is the Esper tri-land. So they might come up with better ones eventually, but for now this will suffice. You've got Command Tower, that's the, I believe it's the FTV or some promo. Yeah. Then we've got the basic ones. I've gone for Unstable Lands, so they're multiples of each. They're the only cards that are multiples. So you've got Swamp. We have 2, 3 swamps. These all John Avon, these lands as well. So we've got the plains, also from Unstable. There is 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. We've got Island. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. Now we've also got some tokens that the deck makes, so I try and put all the tokens. It makes it easier to keep track of various things. So we've got the constructs. These are made by Urza. So there's some of those. Then we've got the Wormcoil engine tokens. These took ages to find out, to look through my sets to find them. So this is the lifelink one. This is the Death Touch one. Then we have various Thopters. So I'm going with this one. And then there's one from Unstable. Not just good for lands, it's good for tokens as well. So you've got this one. These came available in foil. And then we've got the emblem for Tezzeret. Anyway, that's the deck as it is. I rate it as somewhere like a 7. It's kind of like a 7 out of 10. It might be an 8 out of 10. Before, my fastest kill with it was turn 2, but that was back when Paradox Engine was I kept a no land hand. I drew a land on my first turn, and I played a bunch of mana rocks on turn 1, and I won on the second turn. Only things we're looking forward to upgrading it are probably, if I had original dual land, I'd play them. And like obviously a Mishra's Workshop would be good, but I don't think I'm going to get one. So anyway, please like, comment and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed it. This could be a series. I've got another 40 decks that I'm going to do, that I haven't featured, and I will do videos on at some point. And anyway, all my decks are available on Moxfield, or will be available. I'll leave a link into the description. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.